Hello there. I am in Glastonbury Cemetery, which is this epic, beautiful place full of loads of lovely trees, and I've been here for a couple of hours, wandering around, meeting the copper beech trees that are here, and now I'm kind of chilling out behind the back of the cemetery, enjoying the sun going down through the trees. And I thought that this might be a good opportunity to share what I'm looking at. I've been sat next to this grand old oak, that just goes on and on. And it is glowing pink at the moment. It's got this kind of pink tinge to it. And so this area up here there are some burials along here as well. And then there's this old dead stump here, which is a dead ash tree. And then in this direction, we start to enter copper beech territory. And we get these amazing copper beech trees are dotted around this cemetery. There's there are 7 of them, plus one that is now a stump, but a sculpted stump. They sculpted it into an arc, and it's quite beautiful. Love copper beech trees. And here's one of the best places to see them, I imagine, anywhere in the country. Look at it. The leader trunks that come out of the main here. So there are 2 leader trunks on this side, and then there's a third one around the other side. I've got a wasp. They're as substantial as any beech tree that we'll see pretty much at the moment around here. It's like a good 3 meters girth. Very substantial, and the light just comes through them in this lovely way. I'll just rest this here a minute. From the outside, like, copper beech trees are quite dark and heavy, but when you come in underneath them, when you enter their world, they change, their colours change. They've got these lovely reds intermingled with green as well. Some of the foliage underneath the tree remains green. And then up and up and up. We've got actually the evening time's the best time to come and see them, because we're on a westerly facing hill, so we get the sun cutting right in here, low through the branches, so this is the best time to see them. The sun rises on the other side of the hill. I mean, any time's a good time to come and see them, but this is when they show their true colours. Real beauty. That's me. I've got my burgundy copper beech t-shirt on. So I'll walk around a little bit if you want to stick with me and enjoy the walk, and I'll sing a song in a bit as well. Please feel free to do that. I won't go on for too long. It might be 15-20 minutes or something like that. So yes, there's the sun setting behind the copper beech tree, and it's just lovely with the long grass surrounding the graves on the other side as well. So accompanying the copper beech trees, we've got lots of evergreens. We've got bay, laurel and yew trees, holly trees as well, some quite old holly trees in this churchyard, in this cemetery. And there's this section behind the cemetery. Up here there's a big ash tree, and there are some young planted oaks in here as well. Hi Angela, hi Bob, Sarah, Paul, Mike, good to see you all, thanks for stopping by. A couple of the U's here. There's nothing much bigger in girth in this one and that one perhaps as well, although that one's got multiple trunks. But there were about 20 U's in here maybe. And then we're in Copper Beech territory again. You can hear it on the ground. The cracking beech nuts. So this is what the Copper Beech looks like from the outside. It's this deep purple, you know, this deep, although it varies from tree to tree, and it varies within the same tree throughout the year as well, I've observed. One tree up on Bulwark's Lane came out really copper and then went off green during the year. And just, yeah, lovely light. But then, yeah, you get the light coming through and it starts to come alive. So this beech tree's got a really long, slender trunk. You can see here the sunlight bouncing off the left-hand side there. Almost a human profile. There's something about stepping under these beech trees. The newsletter that I'll release this month with the full moon is writing about these trees. We step into their domain when we step beneath them. It's like they're kind of dreamlike, but they're so present, but also, you know, they just stand there and stare into the distance, and they've got this misty kind of bright, you know, this bright white colour that contrasts so nicely with the deep red, and then contrasting that again with the surrounding dark green of the yew trees, it just makes a perfect painting. These trees are like paintings. They're like, they tell you where to stand. Like, right, stand there and look up and enjoy me. They guide your eye, and when you're beneath them, nothing exists, just you and them and your senses. So the cemetery, excuse my pronunciation there, if I can get that to focus, bear with me. Okay, so there's another large copper beech tree in here, which we won't be able to enjoy so much because the light won't be so good down there. This direction along the top ridge of the cemetery, we meet yew and holly, and then also featuring prominently is the holm oak, so the evergreen oak. This is a strawberry tree. Grows a strawberry-like fruit. An old yew with eyes. Bay, and we enter Copper Beech territory again. So this is the Copper Beech that we were enjoying from the other side. So, you know, so bright, and we get an idea of so we can now see the three leaders. The third one on the right there is a smaller one. Those two great big trunks coming out of the top there. It's the structure of them, it's the way that the branches all climb on top of each other. It's like there's something fluid about it, or clay-like. It's like they drip upwards. They fall upwards out of themselves. There's something really graceful about how beech branches leave the trunk. Yeah. I think it's the contrast of the colouring, the delicacy of the leaves. Like the end branches of beech trees are so delicate and dainty and pointy. When in the winter, when they've got no leaves, they're almost feather-like. They wisp upwards, and there's just the contrast of the delicate end branches when you see it where it's what it's been born of. There's a juxtaposition. These grand monuments like plinths with displaying, natural forms, like plinths displaying grand natural sculptures. And we're encircled by the arms of the beech. The beech reaches up and it drapes down armfuls of these gorgeously coloured leaves. It's like a big natural performance. It's like an amphitheatre or something like that. It's that grand. It's a cathedral. It's gather round. It's an open space with this kind of this natural performance going on. That its trunk and its branches are dancing and kind of telling us the story of how it grew and how it formed and came to be. I could waffle on and on about the copper beech trees. So yes, you can enjoy more of that kind of waffle in the forthcoming To the Trees newsletter, released on the full moon. So yeah, I'm going to turn around now, I'm going to go back, I'm not going to say anything for the time being, and then I've got my guitar around the back there, so I'll sing a song, and then I'll say goodbye. Yeah, okay, I did say I'd say nothing, but it's a good opportunity to plug. So there are a few upcoming walks. There's one on Sunday at 11, although I hear the weather's changing again, which is disappointing. So Sunday, yeah, and then in August there are 3 new moon, full moon, around the new moon and full moon, and then the last bank holiday of the year. So thank you to the copper beech trees. Beauties, absolute beauties. Encourage you to come and visit these trees. I do walks around here as well. One of the August walks might well be a cemetery walk. Excuse me. You can see that lovely green there. Green, but with the purple veins, it's still purple. For anyone who's interested, it's anthocyanin that makes the copper beech copper. Anthocyanin. It's got a little nook, which is nice to sit in and play. I've not about what song I'm going to sing. For the Fire, by the sounds of it. So this song is called For the Fire. Thank you for joining me tonight. Thanks for sticking with me as well while I wandered around waffling about the copper beech trees. Really hot out today, hey? And I'm going to do more of these because I wanna. This is called For the Fire. Have a lovely evening. The tale was told as spirit took hold, and night birthed the sun. I began to unfold, and your face was as golden can do. So the darkness upon us grew dim around you, and the path was a circle, not a straight line. The way was to pass through the forest, to find that end is beginning. From darkness she spoke, the end is beginning, and you are a glimmer of hope. Dancing, a flame entrancing, fuel for the fire, burn for beginning and ends. Dancing, a flame entrancing, fuel for the fire, for the fire. And the tale goes on as two become one. The sway of the silence stood still under sun, and your eyes were to widen as only they do, as the darkness upon us grew dim around you, and the path was unending. We came to believe the way was to pass along the river and see that end is beginning. From darkness she spoke, the end is beginning, and you are a glimmer of hope. Dancing, a flame entrancing, fuel for the fire, burned for beginning and ends. Facing friendly faces, fuel for the fire. You are a flicker of light, glancing, a flame entrancing, fuel for the fire, for the fire. Dancing, a flame entrancing, fuel for the fire, burned for beginning and ends. Facing friendly faces, fuel for the fire. You are a flicker of light, glancing, a flame entrancing, fuel for the fire, for the fire, for the fire, for the fire. There we are. Thank you very much for joining me this evening. Nice to see a few of you gathered there. I look tired and hot, that I am. I've been out here in Glastonbury Cemetery for a couple of hours wandering around doing a film about the copper beech trees. that will come out sometime in the future, but also finishing off an article that will come out in the newsletter this month with the full moon. That will be all about the copper beech trees, and this is the second visit to the cemetery I've had today. I came at around 2 and stayed for an hour, and the light was lovely, but it was so hot. I thought I would come back in the evening time when we had the lovely low sunlight cutting through the copper beech trees, which I've given you some examples of earlier on in this video. So I won't do that again. I will now say good night to you all. So yeah, thanks for joining me, and I'll do this again very soon. Look out for that. Have a great evening.